Hi, I have a beautiful piece of handbag here to show you, and it's the very first carpet bag or rug bag in my collection. Oftentimes, these terms can be intermittently used, or sometimes I would describe a handbag as embroidery, tapestry, needlepoint, pettipoint, velvet, carpet, rug. They all fall on the, you know, I don't know if there is a classification for that, but this is a vintage handbag that I purchased online recently. And isn't that gorgeous? It's an old bag, yet it's very contemporary. Sometimes when I look at modern designers and the new it bags of today, they do look alike, or they have some vintage inspiration to them. And I would compare this to the Gucci velvet Marmont Gigi bag, except for the GG hardware, because this clearly just has a very classic, simple, and minimalist hardware, and they all fall under that category. And although I've lusted over this Gigi Marmont velvet bag because apparently it's more sturdy and more wearable than, of course, the other leather like lambskin, I just can't justify shelling out less than $2,000 for a very small handbag. So I am better off hunting vintage handbags. That's why I love vintage handbags, because price point very reasonable. Plus, they do stand out, and they do look very modern and chic. And sometimes, with Dolce and Gabbana handbags, their handbags are very vintagey, if you know what I mean. They have lacy handbags, they have needlepoint handbags, embroidered handbags. And I remember my mom and my aunt have the same handbag. I'm still trying to buy that. It's a big, bulky, very structured handbag with embroidery in front, and it clips so hard you can just, every time you open the bag, it would just, it has a very loud click when you close it. And I've read that the noisier the bag is when you click it, then the sturdier the material is, and that is actually very true. Okay, so this is a carpet bag, and let me just give you a history of a carpet bag. I know, of course, that a lot of you who are into vintage bags don't know the history of this bag. And of course, I just read it, although I have a lot of handbag books to walk me through. I still don't know a lot. There is a lot of information out there and a lot of things to learn about handbags. It's not just a piece of accessory. There's a lot of history associated with each style, each material, and all that stuff. And yeah, thanks to the internet. But anyway, let me just show you, read to you the history of the carpet bag. I'm not sure if you're interested, but at least the carpet bag was invented as a type of baggage, like a duffel bag, as opposed to a wooden and metal trunk. So carpet bags used to be made of oriental rugs or the Brussels carpet, okay, which means heavy pile formed by uncut loops of wool and a linen warp. Now, this is something interesting. They said that I read the history earlier, so I'm just gonna summarize it. They came up with this carpet bag because of the remnants of unused carpet, instead of throwing it away. So back then they had recycling in mind, and they did not want it to go to waste, so they sold it to leather or handbag makers. But some of the carpet makers of handbags, carpet handbag makers during the day also made their own carpet. But basically, this idea was born because they did not want the extra carpet to go to waste. So they made something special out of throwaways, carpet recycling. Okay, so when my husband saw this the other day, he was like, "What is that? It's a carpet bag." And I was surprised that he knows what a carpet bag is, because I would not even call this a carpet bag. I would just say, "Oh, it's a velvet bag." Well, the texture of velvet and carpet bag, they're just the same, and it looks like an embroidered one too, because of the things here. It looks like some sort of needlepoint or tapestry or embroidery, or it's just so, I really don't know the difference between a needlepoint or a petty point or whatever. But anyway, so why did I compare this to the modern Gigi Marmont Gucci? Because basically the size and the chain, and they're both flap bag with this kind of closure. Okay, so this is even more elegant. The thing is, I love handbags. When I go out, I'm gonna be the only one wearing it. So if you're a Louis Vuitton lover, I'm sorry, everyone has Louis. And if you're a Gucci lover, all the logos are just in your face everywhere. And I don't know, I'm just into minimalism now, although I try to use my handbags, of course, my designer handbags. I only have 2 Louis Vuittons now in my collection. So I think the most Louis I've ever owned was 15, and then I've sold them all. I've just had enough of that monogram, and I still do have 2 monograms though, but I haven't sold them. That is why they are still in my collection. Okay, so this is a no-name brand handbag, and according to the history, they have started making carpet bags during the 19th century. So and then it evolved from there. So I think it would say 1960s or 1950s this time. So I really cannot give you an exact, that's just an estimation. Okay, but this looks so new. The reason I bought it was, according to the description, it's new and a used bag. I know I have some pieces, vintage pieces, that look like the day they came out. So okay, and I just love the flowers here. It's just so simple, guys. And this has a very short it has a very, very short handle straps. So the only thing is, if I have this chains replaced, maybe that would look like the modern Gucci. But anyway, it has flower motif, I believe, and it has a very, very tiny, very unnoticeable what do you call this? It's just a simple kind of metal that holds this together, and that's it. So it's a very, very simple handbag, and it's in the flap style or envelope. No, not envelope, not quite there yet, but okay, flap style. And look at that. So I've measured this. This is like 10 inches by 8 by 3 inches. So yeah, so look at that. It does look like carpet. Of old carpets, probably English themed carpets. Okay, so let me see if you could see this. I'm trying to hold this. That's why this one is not moving a lot, because I have a book holding my phone so it would be more steady. And yeah, so it just looks very, very newish. And it doesn't have any feet studs. Oh, it does. Oh, okay. 4 brass feet studs, if you can see that. Okay. And this is probably just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 inches for the length, the strap drop. And yeah, it is very shiny still at this point. And this is the interior of the bag. It's very simple. It doesn't have any name. Okay, again, when I bought this was entirely new, but of course I still had to do my routine of sanitizing everything with soap. What I do is I soak a towel, a face towel, lots of soap, and then I just wipe it, and then that's it. This came so new, but it's wrinkled now because I didn't dry it completely. And I just wiped and wiped it. Just there's not even a smell, guys. It's like this is perfect. It has never been used, and it has no name. And I love it because it's just, who else will be wearing something like this? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be buying more, more and more of these. I'm just so impressed. And real carpet bags. I mean the early versions, they come with like a doctor style or duffel style because they used to travel with that instead of the trunk and the heavy luggage. So this was an alternative, and apparently it's very, very how do you call it? It doesn't show any wear and tear. It's more reliable. No, it's not reliable. Durable. It's more durable than leather and wooden trunk. So that's how people traveled before. Okay, alternative luggage, they were made of carpet. So it's a very, very interesting piece of history. So I'm trying to learn more and more as I get new pieces, because when I find something and I cannot I don't see any trademark, I'm stumped. But then I know this is a travel bag. I mean, not a travel bag, it's a carpet bag, so I had to research the history. So there you go. And when I have time, maybe I'll share more bags and their history next time. So not that, not a lot of us know the history behind it, so it would be worth sharing. Okay, guys, thank you. Okay, bye.